Okay guys, we're back today, and I tell you guys, today's probably going to be a little intense. We're going to talk about speakers. Very important day today, okay? Speakers, making sure you get your speakers down correct, okay? So everyone has their machines. Still. Click. Awesome. And hooked up, ready to go, okay? Or most everyone. Okay, we're going to talk about speakers. Before we do, I know that I mentioned it the other day. Guys, our final is December the 4th, okay? That Monday. So, you should be working on most everything, okay? And if you're not getting something, you need to ask, okay? Because you coming to the final on that day ain't gonna cut it, okay? You don't show up for the final, you fail this class, okay? So as long as you have a face and a pulse, you show up that day or make arrangements with me, you're probably going to pass. Pretty good chance. Unless you come here and you ask 1,000 questions about, how do I get into hyperkeys? Probably not going to be real good for you that day, okay? So, I mean, if you have questions, ask, guys. I'm here to help you, but if you don't ask me, I can't help you. And if you don't ask, then I just assume you're getting it, okay? Got it? All right.
Let's see how Eclipse makes it easy to keep track of speakers. In this example, I wrote the word objection, but I didn't have time to identify the speaker. To insert the speaker paragraph, I could either use the speed key F2, or I could open the Format menu and select Speaker. If the speaker's name is already on the list, I can select it by either using the mouse to point and click, or by pressing the number next to the name. However, when I enter this dialog, Eclipse is ready for me to start typing to add a new name to the list. I could then close the dialog by either pressing the Enter key or clicking on the OK button.
Y'all know that, right? We've gone over this already, kind of. But they're just kind of going over the basics again, and then we're going to get into it in depth, okay? But you know how to open the speaker list, which is F2. And when you go in, it gives you a prompt right here. So when you go in, it initially thinks that you want to add another speaker to the list. No big deal. All you have to do is, you know what, I need the speaker for Mr. Green. Mr. Green's already in there. You push number 2, it automatically goes in there. Have you guys messed with the speakers a little bit? No? Okay, well, we're going to, so.
The name gets added to the speaker list, and
also when you go in there,
on the OK.
And you have to be real careful because say you're going in there and you want Mr. Green, okay? But Miss Sutherland just walked in. Okay, well, you know what? I need to add Miss Sutherland to the list. So I add Miss Sutherland's name, push OK. Well, guess what? It thinks that you want Miss Sutherland in there. Now it's going to put it in the speaker list where you are. So it thinks that you wanted it right then and there, okay? But you needed Mr. Green, okay? So be real careful when you're adding. You know, you put Miss Sutherland, and it'll put it in there and kind of leave it there, and then you just push on Mr. Green before pushing OK, and then it'll put Mr. Green in the speaker list. You'll know what I'm talking about once we start messing with it, but I'm explaining it to you now, okay?
OK button. The name gets added to the speaker list and to my document. As of Eclipse version 4.3, the speaker list offers the option to let you display a seating chart, but this is the topic of a separate visualizer presentation.
All right. Any questions about that? Pretty basic?
Let's see how to change speakers within Total Eclipse. This answer needs to be changed. to a speaker paragraph. Here's a keyboard method in case you'd rather not use the mouse. Simply place your cursor in this first line and press the home key twice. Then press F2 to see the speaker list. To select Ms. Sutherland, I can press the 4 key, which is the number next to her name. Then press the Enter key. But there's also a mouse method. Simply click on the paragraph button and select Speaker. OK. Then use the mouse to point and click. OK. I want to be able to use a set of editing shortcuts that are built into the default Total Eclipse keyboard setup. In other words, I want to be able to press Control 1 from anywhere in this paragraph and have it change to Speaker 1. So I don't want to be confused by the order in which speakers' names happen to be listed. Let's see how to change speakers within Total Eclipse that are built into the default Total Eclipse keyboard setup. In other words, I want to be able to press Control 1 from anywhere.
So what they're doing right here is you can be anywhere in this sentence, okay? Anywhere. And, it's like, you know what? That's not Mr. Jones. That's Mr. Green. Okay? Well, if you remember which speaker Mr. Green is, all you have to do is control whatever number Mr. Green is. Do y'all get that? Okay? Let me see if it'll do it. No, it's not. Hang on.
In this paragraph, and have it change to Speaker 1.
You see how I changed it? It was Mr. Was it Green? Jones. Now it's Mr. Smith, because Mr. Smith was number 1 or whatever. So if you don't remember, all you have to do is go into your speaker list, which is F2. Go in there, oh, Mr. Green is number 1. And just remember, usually you're not, unless you sit in my old court, you're not gonna have a whole lot of people, okay? Usually you're gonna have 2 in the depot. The guy that's doing the depot and the other guy. So there's a plaintiff and a defense, okay? Unless it's a huge case, usually you're gonna have 2, okay? So it's not that big of a deal. You might have a videographer, totally different, whatever. But if you go sit in my old court, I mean, you could have 12 on an average case, So, but, I mean, that's not like any other court either, okay? So even in, a regular case, you're just gonna have the plaintiff and the defense. There might be somebody else that's helping the plaintiff, so that might be a 3rd, and then you have somebody else that's helping the defense, so there might be a 4th, so there might be 4. So it's not that big of a deal. So if you can keep the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, then you're golden. Got it?
Let's see how to add names to the speaker list for the beginning of translation. This is especially helpful if your main dictionary contains steno that you use over and over again as standard speaker designators. Let's say I either give the command for instant real-time, or I go to the Translate Notes dialog and say OK to proceed. Here Eclipse is making it easy to say who will be Speaker 1 today. Just type a name and press Enter. The system can automatically save these names in my job dictionary in case I need them for another job in the same case. This makes it easy to have my speakers properly identified from the very beginning of the job. And if they do begin talking out of sequence, their names still appear on the speaker list in the order in which I think of them. So I'll be able to use these great editing shortcuts. I'll be able to place my cursor in any paragraph and change it so that it belongs to Speaker 1 by simply pressing Control 1. So here's how I set this up. First, my main dictionary will have some standard speaker designations. Perhaps you use plaintiff and defendant, or left side, right side. You would follow what is set up in your main dictionary. Go to the Translate section of User Settings and find the Speaker List button. I'll place my cursor in the line that begins with a 1 and use the Change button. In the box next to Master, I'll type in Speaker 1. It's the same text as in my main dictionary, but without the braces and without the capital S colon. OK. I'll follow a similar process for speakers 2, 3, and 4 using the chain.
I'm not really stopping on these things because it's not really that important, okay? The next time I use this will be the first time I use this. It's not really that big of a deal. And the way that I show you to set it up, it's going to set it up like that in your transcript already, okay? So what it's gonna do is, you're gonna have these, can you, is it showing, kind of showing that? You're gonna have these speakers right here, okay? I'm gonna give you 4 speakers, okay? These are my 4 for attorneys. Court is 5, and then WNS, witness, is 6, okay? Guys, there's gonna be 6 people here speaking for the final, okay? So you're gonna have 6 speakers. Now, whether you choose to use these speakers, I don't care. I really don't care what you use, but you better have 6 come finals day. You better figure out 6, okay? But to me, this is the easiest for me. I'm gonna show you some other ways that they're talking about right now, okay? And you kind of do what you want.
So the speakers are always the attorneys and nobody else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like for me, even if there's 4 attorneys, you're golden, okay? Guys, the first job that I went and took in court, there was like 18 attorneys, okay? A little scary, but I'm gonna show you a way, and we've talked about it a little bit, about how you figure out other speakers. Red, black, hair, glass, brown, whatever. The first thing that you look at somebody and you see is usually what I use, okay? You do it however you want to, okay? Somebody comes in and it's like, she just automatically starts talking and was like, oh, brown, you know, or pink, whatever, okay? So it's the first thing that comes to you, but you have to remember what it is. You know, and they say, well, hang on, Miss Sutherland just walked in. We're gonna go off the record for just a second. She's already said something, so you already have her down as brown, or pink. Okay, well, you heard Miss Sutherland. Okay, off the record, off. Pink, Miss Sutherland. And then you get a card from her after the depot, or whenever you get a chance, say, do you have a card, ma'am? Yeah, okay. Then you're good to go, okay? Are you all awake?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Change button each time. If you don't have the witness in the line that begins with a 0, put your cursor in that line and use the change button to designate that slot for the witness. One final.
Okay, one thing I'm going to talk about is the speakers that they use. They kind of taught us these in school too. So it was the SNU screw, and it's SKWRAO, and you know, AO is the long O or U sound or whatever, okay? So that's why they call it the SNU screw or whatever. Those were the speaker identifications. So it's top, vowels, bottom, vowels, AO. Top, bottom, and that's your speaker. Whatever. Didn't work for me. Same thing on the other side. Top vowels, bottom vowels, okay? So when I say top, I'm talking about these fingers, these 4 fingers. Top bank, vowels, bottom bank, vowels, top bank, vowels, bottom bank, vowels. So those are your 4. Didn't work for me, okay? It didn't work for me, so I figured this out. Thank you. God almighty, just sit still, don't get anxious.
can't. If your hand
Obviously.
Control your hand movement.
So I came up with this, which is good, bad, because this attorney 4 is J period for some people. Yeah. So the way that I do J period is I do J period asterisk. Does that make sense? So I just added the asterisk for the J period, okay? Or if they say J, like the guy J, is totally different. So that was the only thing that was my attorney for. So it's top bank, bottom bank, both hands, top bank, both hands, bottom bank, both hands, top bottom, bottom top. And that gave me my 4 speakers. I didn't use the vowels. It worked for me. If this works for you, then you better write it down and practice whatever you're going to use. So you can use the snoo, screw, AO period, AO comma. You do whatever you want. I really don't care, okay? But you have to come up with 4. You're gonna need 4. Got it?
Note, if you've added entries for speaker identifiers in your job dictionary, Eclipse can automatically load these names into the speaker list. So you'd only have to add names, if any, that the system had not found in your job dictionary. Eclipse contains great features for handling speakers. Take advantage of them.
Got it? So guys, when I just told you, be thinking about what speakers you're going to use, that means right now, because we're getting ready to do it, okay? So you need to decide whether you're going to use these or whether you're going to use the other ones. Snoo, screw, period AO, comma AO, okay?
Right.
Because we're getting ready to do it. So you need to decide which ones you're going to use, okay? I'm going to give you 30 seconds. You know what? We're going to do it right now. Okay? So what I want you to do is get into real time. Got it? And I want you to press attorney 1. Whichever attorney 1 you're going to use. When are you hoping to get your stuff? This is... We'll get it done. Okay. Okay. So, what we're going to do... I'm sorry?
Oh no, it's still happening for you. I gotta get out.
I'm going to do mine. Okay, we have this. Okay? We have this stroke. Is everybody using this? Is somebody using the snoo screw? You're going to use the snoo screw? Anybody else? AO period, AO comma? No? Okay. So whatever you have it, right? Okay. So now you have that stroke. Okay. Global it. Which is what? G. Global it. Got it?
No. Mine came out with parentheses when I did the first line for attorney 1. It said it was there.
Control G.
That's the other one that came out.
Yeah. But you just have to change. I mean, you're already in there.
But I'm because I already did that. Because that's my parentheses.
I do friends, right?
I didn't have to work.
If this is the way that you do parentheses,
I know.
then you just figured out that you need to use snooze screw. Okay.
I never used the parentheses.
Well, and the next time I use parentheses will be the first time I use parentheses too, okay? Yeah, I mean, you know, we're keeping it realistic here too, okay? You'll need it, maybe. Maybe you have time to put it in there, maybe, okay? But I use print for parentheses, okay? You do what you want. If this is your parentheses and you want it to stay that, then you better go the other way, okay? If not, and it has a parentheses here and it's blue, don't worry about it, all right? So now do Control E. Everybody there? Do S, S, S. So right there, speaker. Got it? Is everybody there?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I'm like, no, wait,
Relax.
mine,
Huh?
no, mine did something.
Relax.
What?
Mine did a stupid scan.
Oh, because we're gonna get through it and said, oh yeah, what are we, global? What was global
You
again?
lost
Oh
me at
man.
global.
Huh?
You lost me at global, but.
God, you're not gonna pass
Okay,
this.
so you said Control E, right? And then did my S, and I went too far down. Okay, and hit enter, right? Okay.
All right, hit enter. And then in all caps, do attorney 1. You can do whatever you want. Speaker 1, whatever. It's just easier for me to remember because I don't need to remember movement, respondent, plaintiff, defendant, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, whatever. Attorney 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives me my 4 attorneys. All right? So this is the way that I found is the easiest way to set it up. Got it? Is everybody right here?
Yes.
Well,
Do you want it?
Oh, go ahead. I just pushed enter on my, so I'm not there anymore, but okay, go ahead.
Now you want to teach a class? Jesus.
You may proceed, sir.
Do you want it in your main?
Yes.
Yes, you do. So just press enter. All right. Now go to the next one.
Okay, but hers didn't, it's supposed to be in the middle of our screen, right?
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on which.
I tried it and that's what it did.
Okay.
Started off from,
It's fine.
okay.
Okay. Mine's not right there, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So the second one?
Oh, you know what? Yours is jacked up.
Mine? Right.
Where yours at?
Turn it off for a second, please.
Is yours in the